Mayor Walsh is introducing a new effort to encourage revitalization in Roxbury, Dorchester, and Mattapan. To tell us about Love Your Block are two of the program coordinators who've been assigned to the city by Americorps VISTA. We'd like to welcome Jared Johnson and Emily March. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
I want to start with Jared Johnson. First of all, to talk about how you ended up in Boston and what's going on here.
Sure. So I had done political campaigns before and wanted to do something a little bit more long-term, something that I could come back and look and say, oh, I had played a part in creating that. And so I was looking at Americorps and looking at some of the programs around community revitalization. That's something I've really been passionate about for some time, and saw this opportunity for a really neat position in Boston. And my parents had actually just visited Boston last year and told me about just how great it was. And so, applied for it, got the position, and packed up sight unseen to Boston. But it's really been a great experience so far, and I love the city of Boston, love the people of Boston, and I'm really glad I made that decision.
Emily, you're also here to help us look at things with fresh eyes. And so how did you get to Boston?
Well, I actually, much the same as Jared, I spent the last year teaching English abroad in France. I was recently graduated, and I was looking for a way to come back to the States and to serve, and especially in a big metropolis and in a capacity where we're really working with and helping the community. And so my mother actually was an Americorps, and she recommended that I look at those positions, and just did my research and saw an opportunity in Boston and thought, wow, what a great city to serve in. So I applied and came right out here sight unseen, just like Jared.
Well, Jared, the project we're talking about tonight is called Love Your Block. A lot of people do already, but why have this kind of a program?
Sure. So one thing that we found out is that, Emily and I, weren't sent here to come in and save these neighborhoods. What we found out through attending dozens and dozens of community meetings is there are a lot of people who are already super passionate about their community. And so what Love Your Block is designed to do is just give them the tools to make the changes that they want to see. These people already have ideas, they're already passionate about their community, they're involved. This is just connecting them with the resources.
Yeah. Emily, what kind of things have you been hearing people talk about to show some love for the block?
Sure. All kinds of ideas. A lot of folks are really concerned about safety in their neighborhood, particularly when it comes to their local parks. So we've had a lot of interest about revitalizing and revamping local parks, whether it comes to planting more flowers, putting in new benches, beginning some type of programming. We heard an interesting idea about starting exercise programs in the park, just to get more people out there using the parks, have a better presence, and build community that way, and kind of take back the space.
Right. Jared, what about some other ideas? Could it be things like traffic, kids going to school, you want to make sure they don't get hit by cars, things like that? I don't know.
Yeah, so we've really tried to leave it pretty open-ended. And so, the main emphasis is on something physical, but if it's something that really there's a lot of community buy-in behind it, and it's not physical, it's something we're definitely willing to look at. And so we've heard things like community gardens have been something that's really popular. We did a big survey and tried to find out what are some of the most popular ideas, and community gardens came in as the most popular idea.
And second to that was community art installations.
Yes.
So whether it's a community sculpture, a mural, just a way to beautify the neighborhood.
Yeah. Jared, what about the goal here? Because it seems to be more than just having some kind of piece of infrastructure or even public display like a work of art. I mean, this is about getting people into contact too, I would imagine.
Absolutely. We actually did a workshop last night, and we asked people to think about the sustainability portion of their project. And so I said, think about what you want this space to look like in 5 years. What is the end goal? The end goal is not putting some bricks together and there's a project. No, the end goal hopefully should be bringing neighbors together, like Emily talked about, increasing safety through physical design and through having people come back and take ownership of space. Because we've seen plenty of examples of this across the country, that when people take ownership of their streets and of their parks, they're safer, better places for them to live.
Emily, when people don't take ownership, what I usually picture is a pile of litter. I guess we have some of that still.
Yes, we do. We have big concerns about just litter and trash. We've had concerns over graffiti, and just when things look blighted or dilapidated, people don't have pride in them, and they don't feel as safe. And those areas do tend over time of neglect to breed crime as well.
Right. Jared, if people want to find out more about what's going on with this, because I know the city's going to be coming in here. The city's not just saying, give us an idea, because the city's going to come out with some resources, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to leverage city services. Emily and I are going to be in contact with them to help guide them through the process. And so they can definitely learn more at our website, and that's cityofboston.gov/loveyourblock. We're also on Facebook. Just search Love Your Block Boston, and on Twitter as well.
All right, thank you both very much, Jared Johnson and Emily March.
Thank you.
For Love Your Block.